Hello and welcome back to my channel. Jacob Payton here, and today we'll be talking about The Perfect Victim by David Sodergren. I've talked about some of Sodergren's books on here before, and I can't say enough good things about them. I mean, awesome little cover. It's not a very big book. It's actually a lot shorter than some of his other books that he's put out. As always, once I start one of his books, I just absolutely devour it. This one, I think, comes in at 185 pages. So yeah, that's the afterword. So 185 pages with the afterword. So much shorter than some of his other books, which I do believe clock in usually around 300. So yeah, this is just a fun little read. I can't say enough good things about this book. I absolutely loved it. I devoured it very quickly. And on the back, it says, "No one expects to be kidnapped. No one expects to have to fight for their life. But for Katie Ketcher, that nightmare is about to become reality. She's 16 years old and the daughter of a wealthy Hollywood producer. She's the perfect victim. Now Katie and her best friend Jill must use their wits and cunning in a desperate battle for survival against four dangerous criminals as events spiral out of control. Will their friendship be enough to survive the ensuing bloodbath? The Perfect Victim is the latest violent thriller from David Sodergren, author of The Forgotten Isle." Yeah, I love this book. It was fast-paced from beginning to end. It starts off with Katie and her friend being kidnapped by a group that starts off semi-professional and then kind of devolves from there, because like every great horror kidnapping group, there's three people that really want the money and one that's just a psycho that wants to take things a little too far. In this case, it's a dude that likes black metal a little too much and teenage girls way too much. So you can kind of see where that is going to attempt to go. And Katie also is not taking the situation as serious as she should be. And her friend is constantly complaining about that the entire time. Because her friend Jill is scared, and likely so. A bunch of armed criminals have just kidnapped them. But Katie basically thinks that because she's, seen things like this on TV, and I think her dad had her do like kidnapping training. I think that's mentioned in the book. I could be wrong on that, so don't quote me. But anyway, she thinks she has the situation under control, and she can, they can kind of get out of there because she thinks the kidnappers are idiots. And she knows that, or at least she thinks she knows that they won't kill her because, then they won't get any money. So she attempts to escape, and the psycho kidnapper catches them and kills Jill. And that's kind of that's the very beginning of the book, and that's where the book takes an entirely different turn, because, yeah, it then becomes kind of a cat and mouse game between her kidnappers and her, as Katie now wants revenge on her kidnappers. And I don't think there's really any more I can say too much about it without giving a whole lot away. I loved the character development in this book. I mean, you can see Katie change from the beginning, where she's overconfident and cocky and thinks she knows how she's going to get out of it. Everyone's stupid and she's got it figured out, to her realizing that they are in a very serious situation, or at least when she's on her own. After Jill is killed, she, immediately dials on the fact that, they might kill me. I am now in this life or death situation, whether I want to be or not. And that moving forward kind of impacts every decision she makes, from, very early on, not actually calling her father or pretending to call her father, because after Jill dies, she is very aware of the fact that there's a good chance, because she's seen their faces and all of that, that they're not going to let her go regardless, and they might just give her to this very terrifying guy. Yeah. And it's very interesting to watch her start kind of play them against each other, and then start concocting plans of her own once she realizes the full depth of the situation she's in. If you're a fan of David Sodergren at all, this is a must-read book, I think. Also, if you're a fan of revenge stories or final girl revenge stories, then this is definitely a book to check out. I love revenge stories. I mean, one of my favorite books are The Count of Monte Cristo. So you know, any book that starts out with a person getting done wrong and then ends with them kind of, you know, coming out on top and giving it everybody else their comeuppance, I'm about it 110%. So this book kind of hit, you know, everything I needed it to hit for me. And yeah, I absolutely devoured it. Once again, it's not very long. You could easily read this, or at least if you read like me, you could easily read this in the afternoon. I don't want to like throw it out there. Some people don't read as fast as I do. Actually, I think a lot of people don't read as fast as I do, and that's completely fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I don't always read that fast myself. Sometimes it takes me quite a while. It just depends on work and all that other fun stuff we don't really talk about on this channel. So, read this book. If you like any of David Sodergren's work, if you're a fan of Richard Lehman, if you like anything that's like gory, violent horror fun, I mean, this is an absolute thrill ride from beginning of it to end. Like I said, I can't recommend this enough. Go out and get this book. I'll link it in the show notes below. Yeah, I absolutely love this book. You know, if you've read it and you want to talk about it, please let me know in the comments. And as always, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.